Hello out there, all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear listening into another Gamer's Thoughts discussion. And this time I'm going to be talking about... Honestly, it was an interaction between Juice Man Vaughn and Hungrybox of Team Liquid. So, I wasn't actually expecting to have this type of thing to talk about, but I do. And... long and short of it is that some people from the Smash community are upset with Nintendo, normal part of course, and saying that they want more support from Nintendo, like continued support for basically the Smash tournament scene. Now what they said is game support, but that doesn't really make sense because they definitely supported the game up to the point where they were supporting the game. But they definitely meant more for like the FGC and fighting tournament stuff and all of that. And Juice Man Vaughn stated his opinion that they didn't deserve anything, and that they really haven't done anything to warrant getting like sponsorship and that type of support from Nintendo. And Hungrybox responded to that with a very lengthy post, and I'm going to basically cut it down and hopefully not miss much of what he really said. But his response was basically that Nintendo is terrible at supporting tournaments and stuff like that for the games and showing the fans support and stuff like that. And like I can see that to a certain extent. And that they should be getting involved and adding to the prize pool and stuff themselves, and they haven't really shown much of a desire to put effort into the Smash community as far as like their tournaments and stuff, with the exception of Panda. I forgot what the full name of it was, but it was definitely a tournament that was set up by Nintendo that was supposed to be sponsored and to draw attention and stuff. But that ended up eventually getting shut down because of some other stuff that happened that people don't really always want to talk about. And that's because of other movements trying to co-opt the tournament for attention. So yeah, they decided that they were going to go ahead and just cancel it all and call it a day. So, and like I don't blame them for using a stage that is good for spreading information. But I do believe I talked about this because I'm pretty sure this had something to do with there being a lot of allegations around the time for certain people that were a part of the tournament. And I think this also got like a Splatoon tournament shut down, if I remember correctly. I know I talked about something like that happening a year or so ago. I don't remember exactly. You'd have to go back and listen to my stuff because I do remember covering something happening, and this is going in a similar direction. Now, I'm not going to say I mean any disrespect to anybody because I don't. But for the Smash community to feel like they deserve anything, and this is just my specific opinion, there's going to need to be a lot of changes happening. Here's the thing. A lot of your top players and top contenders have allegations of sexual misconduct against them. Some provable, some not yet being proven. But even Hungrybox himself falls into this category. You have to think about that. As a company that's especially supposed to be family friendly, that represents a lot of things that kids get into, that type of stuff can't be on the docket when we're talking about running tournaments and things at an official capacity. Of course, it would be great if Nintendo were to go ahead and pay into tournaments and support and stuff like that, but you can't expect them to with a community that has so much horrible baggage that could bring things down. Because you gotta look at it this way. That's their branding. That's their money. If they're going to put money into something, they're going to put their brand behind something, they're going to want it to do well. They're going to want it to be a representation of themselves. And they're going to want that representation to be as clean as possible. Now, I'll say, and this is something that anyone could argue, is that Nintendo does have some adult-esque material. Or adult material, generally. But that material isn't affecting or infringing upon their branding. Now, just saying, if everybody wants to do their own Smash tournaments and they want to do their own pots, cool. But you can't expect Nintendo to do that with the controversies, the allegations, and all that stuff that's fallen apart around the Smash tournament community. Like how often there would be unsupervised minors in rooms with adults in these tournaments. People that they are not connected to. And we've heard stories of multiple things happening. You've had your commentators grooming some of the younger tournament participants. I'm just sorry. Would you like, just thinking of the average family and how information can be picked up and spread like wildfire. That's why so many people jumped on the shutdown of the Splatoon tournament, because they really did not know about all this stuff until well after that tournament happened and it came to light. Again, I understand wanting the sponsorship. I understand wanting the partnerships and goals and such with Nintendo. I understand that. But when you yourself have come out and had to apologize for allegations, I mean, I don't know if they've been proven. I don't think they've been proven. But if you've had to come out and apologize for allegations yourself, you do realize that is a bad look. It'd be one thing if something went to court and you proved it to be completely false. Proved it without a shadow of a doubt that, oh yeah, no, this was bullshit. This was something that was brought up against me that didn't actually happen. That's one thing. But when you come out and apologize for allegations, one, when you make that apology, you are basically telling everybody, yeah, I was guilty. I did it. And that's not something that Nintendo's going to let fly. Like, it's just not something they're going to fly with. Honestly, most companies wouldn't. Most companies would not fly with that. And while you could say, well, yeah, these are things that are personal to these individual people. The problem is it's happened with too many people. It'd be a different story if it was like a one-off here or there and it was just like a couple misunderstandings. This has been a pervasive problem for the Smash community for years. For the tournament side of it. This has been a pervasive problem for the tournament side of the Smash community for years. Now, if we're just talking general fans, yeah, well, general fans aren't the ones that are having this issue. The only way right now a Nintendo Smash Bros. Tournament with funding would happen is, honestly, if a lot of the top tier players weren't there or they retired. That's the only way it's happening. Currently, that's the only feasible route that could be taken. Because they're not going to want to put their name and their brand behind people that are going to probably tarnish their name and brand. Not intentionally, anyway. And to Hungrybox's credit, he talked about a lot of the stuff that they did support was to advertise their own stuff. I mean, yeah. Why would they do it if there's no advantage in it for them? Again, that's not the type of argument that you would think it is. Like, yeah, sure, it shows selfishness on the level of a corporation. If Microsoft or Sony had anything as popular as Smash is, they're not advertising it unless they're getting the benefit out of it either. They're not putting money into it unless they're getting the benefit out of it either. You think not Nintendo? You think EA runs all those Madden tournaments just for the sake of running the tournaments? No, they get a huge kickback out of them. That's why they do them. That's exactly why they do them. This should be common sense. Yeah, it could be a benefit to Nintendo to support the Smash community. It could also be a detriment to Nintendo to support the Smash community, at least the fighting game tournament community side of it. That's another thing I really wish people, and somebody's going to hate this opinion. Well, not even an opinion. It's factual that Smash Brothers is not a fighting game. It is not a fighting game. They have incorporated more elements of the fighting games into it because of the Smash tournament scene. If you guys are talking about wanting support, they've incorporated more elements into it, but it's not a fighting game. And I think there was also another point about them being upset about not being able to use mods for tournament play. I'm sorry. Let's just think about this for a moment. See them going ahead and supporting you having these tournaments, and there are people running mods of the various Smash games during these tournaments. Someone interested in Smash finds out about the tournament and they see the game. And they see you guys playing with this mod that is not available through retail, and that would require, for people to understand this, to break a version of copyright law in order to run the code on the game to have the mod. Unless the mod is literally not incorporated itself into the actual code and is just a layer on top, that's a different story. But just think about this. Like, you have somebody who sees this and they see all this stuff happening in the game, and then they get that game at home, and then they can't do that stuff because they don't have that mod on there. They're playing the vanilla version of the game. They don't know that that's a modded version of the game, because that's not likely something that everybody's going to be concentrating on while they're at the tournament. That is not going to be the thing that is the major focus, and if it does get mentioned, it's likely to get mentioned at the top of the show and at the bottom of the show. It's not going to happen constantly, intermittently throughout. One, because it's annoying. Two, because that's not how people think in general. So, you have somebody that gets this product, gets the game, gets it back, and then they can't do everything that they saw other people being able to do. And not because of their skill level, just because it's not possible in that version of the game. And guess what that does? That creates a bad image or a bad taste in their mouth because they feel like they've been duped. They feel like, oh no, this isn't what I was purchasing. This isn't what I thought I was getting. Now you can say that is a stretch, and I would agree it is potentially a long stretch. But it's a situation that could come, that could happen. And that is something that could also be a detriment to them. Especially if it happens enough times. So that's another thing to consider. But I'm honestly, if I was in Nintendo's position too, like, I would be looking at all of these misconduct allegations and the number of people that are still trying to be a part of the tournament scene that have these allegations on them, dealing with those that are underage or, you know, behaving inappropriately towards people who are not interested in that type of energy. Yeah. I can understand why they say, you know what, we're not going to dive too deep into giving these guys a platform. I can understand exactly why they wouldn't. And you could be upset, that's fine, but don't pretend you don't know why they would not be adding themselves to the roulette of sponsors that you would have for Smash. Smash in and of itself is an advertisement. For as much as you don't like the idea that the only reason that they would participate in some sort of tournament is to advertise themselves, Smash is an advertisement. It's literally designed to advertise, to draw attention to say, hey, all of this stuff exists and it's all connected to this thing. So if you're interested in these things, you can get familiar with them a little bit here and then go on to buy and play all of this other stuff. That's the sole purpose of what Smash is, besides it being a fun game. So, I don't know. Me personally, I understand the arguments, but I also understand the opposite side of where those arguments are directed. So, and I for one, I would love to see Smash be supported like that by Nintendo. But I just don't think it's going to happen with the current host of top tiers in the tournament scene for it. Just not going to happen. Well, you have the person that was decidedly the world's best Smash player trumped up on some stuff. And then you see all of the things that have happened, like I mentioned before, stuff with the commentators, stuff with adults being in rooms with minors that they shouldn't have been in, and those minors not having a guardian or a family member with them, and then not even having somebody be responsible for their caretaking, which has led to a lot of these allegations, led to a lot of misconduct, a lot of abuse. Yeah, you guys got to clean up home base before you start asking for help. It's just not going to work out the way you think. And sure, there's going to be the fans that get behind you because they enjoy the tournament scene. They don't really give a fuck about all the other stuff, but they definitely enjoy the tournament scene. Yeah, that's going to cause some problems. Just because you have a large number of followers doesn't make you the person in the right here. Just like Nintendo can be in the wrong, as everybody's decided that they're automatically in the wrong for not supporting you, you can be in the wrong for the very thing that you're asking for. That's really all there is to it. But again, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful here. That's why I wasn't going on and having a tangent. Is just what is relevant to my memory and what I could see as being the problem and why there's such a schism between Nintendo and the Smash tournament community. But I mean, hey, if people disagree with me, that's fine. If you disagree, give me reasons why you disagree, and we could have a discussion about it. But otherwise, thank you guys very much for listening in. Keep your eyes and ears up for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games and peace out, everybody.